For about a 10-year period, it was pretty much like the Wild West. I mean, it was very easy to borrow money, not only for a house, for a car, for a business. You needed absolutely no history. So it was not only easy to get credit, if you couldn't pay your credit down, it was so easy to declare bankruptcy. And within a day of you declaring bankruptcy and having your bankruptcy absolved, you were getting credit offers to buy a house. Before, they were looking at you as an asset, and now they're looking at you as a risk, regardless of what your credit score was. A lot of people that should not have been able to borrow money borrowed money. And it was advantageous for them to go into debt because they knew there was another credit card to bail them out. They could either use their house as an ATM card or they could use their credit cards as an ATM card. And essentially what that did is that drove up the cost so high that things became so expensive, and it outpaced what people's incomes were able to keep up with that cost of living. So essentially we created our own inflation. Well, a lot of guidelines tightened. Now credit became very important. Your job, now you had to verify where you worked. You had to verify your income, which you did not have to do before. You had to verify how much money you had in the bank. Before, you didn't really need to send in a lot of documentation. You could essentially close a loan within 5 days. You could buy a house within 5 days. Now it's taking a minimum of 30 to as much as 90 days to close a home. And these guidelines, all this paperwork, you have to get it up front before they will even look at your loan transaction. She knows what the bank is going to look for before they even ask for it. So it's expecting the unexpected. It's very important. It's something that was not done beforehand. We would just assume that the bank would say yes, whereas now you have to assume that they're going to say no. And this can save a client hundreds to thousands of dollars a month and a year in closing costs. It can guarantee them a lower interest rate. It's going to guarantee them a house that's going to be priced better for them. It's going to guarantee them a less stressful process. And it's also going to increase the chances of them actually closing on the house.
You know, in the old days, getting a mortgage was trivial, right? We've bought several properties before where it didn't matter who your LO was. In fact, I bought a house once from Wells Fargo, and we never even met the loan officer. We did it all over the phone, and it was just, stated income and sign here, right? But now it's a lot harder to get a mortgage. So you need somebody who's going to fight for you.
Yeah, she fought for us at our first closing.
Yep.
There was something goofy that happened
clowning
towards the
around.
end, and she got on the phone right away, and she
Yelling
was
at
taking
people
care
or
of
something? I
business.
don't
So
know.
she's going to fight for them. She's going to speak on their
Sure.
behalf and, do whatever she can do that's within reason to get them what they want.
Well, she saves people money, and that's what people look at on the final closing statement. She's probably the best mortgage person I've dealt with in a long time, if not forever. She's excellent at what she does. Service, communication, wants to make people happy, work product. Well, I think now you need more than ever someone who's going to really find you the best deal, and not only find you the best deal, but make it close.
When I dealt with Tina, I had, hands down, I felt absolutely sure that this was the best out there. She made sure that before I signed anything, that I understood exactly what I was signing, and she was able to get me a phenomenal rate. She was able to help me out with my closing costs where there was hardly any out-of-pocket for me.
Tina's always there. Basically, she did whatever it took to get the loan through. Refinanced my house about 3-4 times, actually. Yep, that should tell you something. She works at the office. She works from home. She's a great person. I don't care how many clients she has. She'll make you feel like you're number one on the list, no matter what. She'll go the extra mile to make sure things get done, so you're not having any surprises at the closing, especially.
Condo experience when I first bought back in '04 was great. Experience then was great, so that's why I came back to her, obviously, because I knew her, and she's very good at follow-up. We're saving a ton of money a month now on our mortgage, so we're completely happy, very satisfied with Tina. She did an awesome job.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just a pro. It's nice working with pros.
Well, and she was just upfront and honest. If it wasn't going to work, she was going to tell us.
And not just by her words, but by her actions and her behavior, that she can be trusted. She's got high character. It's always nice to be able to say to people, no, I got somebody for you. Call them, they'll take great care of you. And you can know that they are going to take good care of you. Yeah.
The transaction is, I guess the best word is streamlined. It goes through from A to B, and it's completed in the quickest, fastest way possible. You're going to get an answer that's going to be honest. And if you want that, then, and you don't want it fooling around, and you want somebody that's going to look out for your best interest, then really Tina's the person that I would talk to.
In our case, we talked to at least 5 different bankers and loan officers who started out by saying with a big glad handshake, oh, we can help you and we're going to get you the money and it's going to be great, and then they pull your credit and they look through your stuff and then they come back to you and they make you feel like you're just totally worthless. This was a tough loan because we were trying to buy a second home. We aren't going to sell our existing home. We have a couple of investment properties. I own my own business. I don't take a W-2. It's not straightforward at all. So with everybody else, it was them asking you questions and going through your numbers to figure out why they couldn't lend you money. And with Tina, the whole time she was trying to figure out why she could. So she took our case, which was, again, rejected by 5 different LOs, and she made it work. And every time something came up where it came back from the underwriter and she said, nope, can't do it because your LTV is too high, rather than saying, well, I can't do it, we would go back to the drawing board and go over all our numbers and figure out how to make it work. And our deal was impossible, according to at least one guy.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here talking to you from our new house. So she got it done. And I kept expecting, I expect her not to pick up, tell me to go to hell. But she always picked up the phone. She was very patient. There was times when I called her, I was like yelling at her and, just being very difficult. And she was always calm and patient. And if we didn't get introduced to Tina, we wouldn't have gotten the deal. Because we exhausted all our other possibilities. We called in every favor. So most of them just pass on you. But for whatever reason, she
helped us.
out.
Yeah.
She cares about the needs of her clients. Is she putting them in the best program? Can they afford the house? I mean, it's almost like she looks upon them as a family member. It's not just a business relationship. She takes it personal. And that's something that's very hard to find. It's sincerity that unfortunately was lost during all of the shuffle. She would rather help the client and do it for nothing than look at it from the standpoint of how much money can I make from this client. She thinks, how can I help my client? Can I get him the best deal? Are they going to be happy? I mean, these are just things that the average loan officer or financial person just don't consider. They think about themselves first, and if the client gets help, great, and if they don't, well, too bad, live to fight another day. There's 300 million suckers born every minute. And she doesn't think of it that way. So she's very honest. She has integrity. She always communicates with her client. She always calls the bank to follow up. She always takes the time to learn her guidelines. It's very important. People have enough stress to deal with in their jobs, in their family lives. When they go through a loan process, they need to know that somebody else is being stressed out for them, so they don't have to be stressed out.